All right, wallpaper 4 for Sunday, August 23rd. Today we're moving through more than 60 years of sports history. We've got Willie Naulls for the Warriors, Ladislav Nagy for the Blues, LaTroy Hawkins for the Astros, and Eddy Piňeiro for the Panthers. And chronologically, we start all the way back in 1963. Willie Naulls is one of those guys where the Warriors portion of the resume is pretty small, but the full resume is worth stopping for. Naulls came out of UCLA, played for John Wooden, and became an NBA star with the New York Knicks. A four-time All-Star, 20-point scorer, big-time rebounder. Huge. He was also genuinely a pioneer. His Knicks teammates selected him as a captain, making Naulls the first black athlete to serve as a captain of a major American professional sports team. Later with Boston, he'd be part of the first all-black starting five in NBA history. And on December 5th, 1962, New York traded Naulls and Kenny Sears to the San Francisco Warriors for Tom Gola. So Naulls goes from the Knicks to a Warriors team that's built around a fellow named Wilt Chamberlain. You may have heard of him. And on January 14th, 1963, he got his old team. The Knicks came into the Cow Palace. Yeah, the Cow Palace. And Naulls gave them 29 points and 12 rebounds. He shot 14 for 20 from the field. Wilt had 48 points and 33 rebounds. San Francisco won 142-134. Now, think about that for a second. No three-point line, a regulation basketball game, 142-134. Naulls played 45 minutes that night, and for somebody whose Warriors tenure lasted only part of one season, that feels like the game you should probably remember. His former team comes to town and he hangs 29 on them and beats them. And although the Warriors finished just 31-49 that year, Naulls would move on to Boston before the following season. Hello, Dante. And there he won 3 straight championships. So his Warriors chapter was short, but Willie Naulls himself was not just a random historical footnote. He had 4 All-Star games, 3 championships, and more than 11,000 NBA points. And for us, number 71 gets his moment. Now jump ahead about 38 years. Ladislav Nagy was a 7th-round pick by the Blues in 1997, number 177th off the board. This is where scouting gets kind of fun. I'm from Tennessee. You draft somebody that late, you're basically buying a lottery ticket and seeing what happens. Nagy came over from Slovakia, spent time in junior hockey with Halifax, and finally got an NHL look with St. Louis during the 1999-2000 season. 2 goals, 11 games, 2 goals, and 4 assists, and that's not bad. The following season, he stuck around longer, and on February 8th, 2001, Tampa Bay came into St. Louis. This was a good Blues team. They were already 34-11-6, 2 overtime losses entering this game. They were expected to beat Tampa Bay, and they did. But Nagy was right in the middle of it. He put together a goal and 2 assists, a 3-point night, as the Blues beat the Lightning 4-1. It was his biggest offensive game as a Blue. Thank you, Rachel. And there's a funny thing about Nagy's Blues career. It ended almost immediately afterward. On March 13th, St. Louis decided it wanted Keith Tkachuk. To get him, the Blues sent Phoenix a package that included Michael Handzus, Nagy, the rights to Jeff Taffy, and a first-round pick. And Nagy went on to become a much better-known player in Phoenix. He eventually had seasons of 42 points, 57 points, and 52 points in only 55 games. His NHL career concluded with 311 points in 435 games. So there's a little what-if with Nagy. Hello, Yandri. It's not necessarily that St. Louis made the wrong trade, because Keith Tkachuk became Keith Tkachuk. But Nagy, he was a 21-year-old winger showing signs that there's something there. And on February 8th, 2001, you got a pretty good look at it. Excuse me. Now we move on to baseball. And LaTroy Hawkins he had one of those careers where you eventually lose track of all the places he played. Minnesota, Chicago, San Francisco, Baltimore, Colorado, Yankees, then Houston. That's not even the whole list. Houston pitched 21 major league seasons for 11 teams. He appeared in 1,042 games, and that's one of the highest totals in Major League history. But Houston got him under strange circumstances. The Yankees signed Hawkins before the 2008 season, and it didn't work. He had a 5.71 earned run average. Hello, Blue Lock Quartet Defense. He had 5.71 earned run average, got designated for assignment, and on July 30th, the Astros acquired him from minor league infielder Matt Cusick. And then Hawkins basically stopped allowing runs. His first 22 appearances with Houston came without an earned run. He eventually finished his 2008 Astros stint with a 0.43 earned run average. 21 innings. 0.43. The Yankees, so that's one earned run in 21 innings. The game I'm using him for comes on August 24th at Shea Stadium. Houston and the Mets are tied 4-4 after 8 innings. Hawkins gets the 9th. 3 hitters, 3 outs, nobody reaches. Then, in the top of the 10th, Brad Osmus, who hit 3 home runs all season, leads off with 1 home run, because baseball. Darren Erstad adds another homer later in the inning. Houston goes ahead 6-4. Jose Valverde handles the bottom of the 10th. Hawkins gets the win. And at that point, he made 10 appearances as an Astro and had not allowed a single run. Houston's also quietly putting together a pretty nice run. They'd been buried early in the season, but that win put them 2 games above 500, 66 and 64. They eventually reached 86 wins and stayed alive in the wild card race until the final few games. Hawkins became one of the pieces holding that late push together. He came back in 2009 and gave Houston another good year, 2.13 earned run average, 11 saves. And that's not bad for a guy that the Yankees decided they couldn't use. And finally, we get to Carolina. Now, to properly tell the Eddy Piñeiro story, unfortunately, we have to go back to Atlanta, October 30th, 2022. You might remember this one. P.J. Walker launches the ball about 100 miles through the Georgia sky. DJ Moore catches it, 62-yard touchdown with 12 seconds remaining, and Carolina appears to have stolen the game. Then Moore takes his helmet off, and it gets flagged. Unsportsmanlike conduct. The extra point gets pushed back. Piñeiro misses it. Overtime. C.J. Henderson intercepts Marcus Mariota and gives Carolina one more chance to win. Then Piñeiro misses a 32-yard field goal. Atlanta wins 37-34. That's the kind of afternoon that can follow a kicker around for years. Except Piñeiro he basically responded by deciding he was never going to miss again. After Atlanta, he made the final 19 field goal attempts of the season. And that brings us to Week 18, January 8th, 2023, Panthers at Saints. It's not a beautiful game. Sam Darnold finishes with 43 passing yards, 2 interceptions. Carolina's only touchdown comes when an offensive lineman, Michael Jordan, recovers a fumble in the end zone, so it's 7-7 late. New Orleans misses a 55-yard field goal, and Carolina gets the ball back with 1:20 left. And after spending most of the afternoon doing almost nothing through the air, Darnold hits Terrace Marshall Jr. for 21 yards. Suddenly, Piñeiro has a big chance. 42 yards, clock at 0. It's good. Panthers win 10-7. And Piñeiro said afterward that the kick meant more than just winning one game. He talked about what happened in Atlanta and about how he never wanted to feel that way again. That's why I like this one for him. Not because a 42-yard field goal is extraordinary. It's not. It's because of what came before it. He had one of the roughest Sundays a kicker can have. He stayed employed, kept kicking, made 19 straight, finished the season by walking onto the field with the game tied and ending it himself. The next year, he'd do it again against Atlanta, kicking three field goals in a rain-soaked 9-7 Panthers win, including the 23-yarder at the gun. But January 8th, 2023, feels like the moment the story turned. So that's today's 4. Willie Naulls gets revenge on the Knicks, 1963. Ladislav Nagy flashes the talent that St. Louis would soon send on to Phoenix. LaTroy Hawkins goes from discarded Yankee to an unhittable Astro, and Eddy Piñeiro takes one of the worst games of his career and enters it with 19 straight field goals and a walk-off game winner in the final game of the season. 4 players, 4 very different careers. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging around. Thanks for all the comments. And I hope you see another one. I'm here every day. I'm here all week. Honestly, though, I'll be doing this until I'm about 88 years. So you got 34 years to do this. Because I'm going to do this for 34 years. Or till I die of, whatever. 87, that's a long time. So, it could be anything. It couldn't be a meteor, but probably more likely some other congenital thing, old age. I digress. Have a good day.